name is Lesley Schuldt, and I will be reading an extract from my sample translation of Eugen Ruge's novel Pompeii, or the Five Speeches of Jownah. The novel begins after the earthquake in 62 AD, which almost destroyed Pompeii. Our working-class narrator and dropout, Jownah, also known as Josse, becomes convinced that Mount Somma is a volcano and its eruption is imminent. He begins to make speeches to convince everyone of the dangers and to encourage them to leave Pompeii. Like so many politicians today, he is schooled in the fine art of rhetoric, and when he learns that Mount Somma is not a volcano after all, he reverses course and tries to convince people to stay in Pompeii. As he is giving his final speech, Vesuvius erupts and destroys everything in sight. This extract is from one of his early meetings with his rhetoric teacher, Protagoras, who has given him homework to write three sentences, beginning with the words, "Protagoras is a fool because." For the next lesson, he brought the following sentences with him. Protagoras is a fool because he thinks he's smart. Protagoras is a fool because he is human. Protagoras is a fool because his pupil says that he is a fool because either the pupil is right and Protagoras is a fool, or his pupil is wrong and Protagoras is a poor teacher and therefore a fool. Protagoras praised the first, passed over the second, and criticized the third. The third sentence, he explained, is the best from a logistical point of view. It's suitable for a treatise, but it's too complicated for speech, too rich in content. The speaker doesn't convince people through logic or acumen. On the contrary, that makes him suspicious. So how can you prove that Protagoras is a fool? I would say to you, you can't prove it, though we can't prove most of the issues we discuss. Of course, you know that Caesar conquered Gaul. Prove it. It might be Herodotus. Herodotus lived 400 years before Caesar. But let's say you went to a library, not right in Pompeii, to find something by Titus Livius about Caesar. You would have to have copies made. Someone would have to legitimize these copies. So you would come to me and I would tell you, I don't believe you. Now what? Josse didn't know anymore. It is very simple, dear friend. You just have to understand that it isn't about proof, but about trust. Once you understand that, it isn't that difficult. Authentic appearance, you yourself are the proof. Your voice has to fit. Your vowels have to ring. Your bearing has to be convincing. Don't fidget. No petty gestures. Everything is one unit. The whole person speaks. And that's why you'll strengthen the credibility of your claims about Protagoras by 100% if you precede the simple naive sentence with, I know Protagoras. Try it. Repeat after me. I know Protagoras. He is a fool because he thinks he's smart. I know Protagoras, said Josse. He is a fool because he thinks he's smart. Do you feel it? Josse felt it and was impressed. An increase in this, shall we say, advertising of trust is the ultimatum of trust. It's blackmail in a friendly disguise that says, you know me. You can add to that, you certainly know that I'm not a liar. In other words, do you think I'm a liar? Josse was amazed. But you can even take it a step further, explained Protagoras, by calling out the authority of others. I recently spoke with so-and-so about Protagoras. Preferably make it specific. Let the conversation take place the day after the meeting of the magistrate on the market, in front of the building of Eumakia, or under an apple tree in your garden. Josse was amazed. A variation of the proof of authority is the claim of a specialist. It consists of you claiming before you say what you're going to say that you are a specialist in this. I have dealt with Protagoras' statements, or I have studied rhetoric with Quintilian. You didn't study with Quintilian? Well, the proof that something didn't happen is one of the most difficult problems of logic. Whoever says you didn't study with Quintilian would have to know all Quintilian students from every semester and prove that you weren't among them. Do you know someone who can do that? Protagoras stirred his tea and snickered. Yes, when he got going, he could become emotional. For homework this time, Josse had to make 3 obviously preposterous theses believable. Firstly, that people are free. Secondly, that dogs have a soul. And thirdly, that Africa should be a continent. Josse handled it with good grace. Thank you for listening.